All right, John Janawicz, PBA50 Ballard Championship winner. I want to start right at the end there as you're hoisting the trophy up. I could see so many emotions going through your face, and it looked like a 10-year-old had just achieved everything they ever wanted right there in the moment. What was going through your mind in the moment as you're lifting the trophy up?
You know, I think at that moment, it kind of hit me that, I got to the 10 titles. And, it seemed like, with the PBA, 10 titles is like the, for the Hall of Fame. And also it was special for me because, I got to 10 years on Team USA, and that was kind of like where I kind of stopped. So, to kind of be able to reach both milestones now, between the professional level and at the Team USA level, it was kind of almost like a unified moment there where it kind of hit me though. But yeah, 10's a pretty special number to me.
Yeah, and in just 4 years, you started on the 5th Tour Rookie of the Year your first year, Player of the Year each of the last 2 years, and now a title early in your 4th season. How have you been able to find so much success here early in your PBA50 Tour career?
That's hard to say. I've always been active in bowling, and I think also, combined, with working with Kegel and whatnot, I stay active at home, and, you just try to get better and better all the time, and, just try to keep learning, and whether it be, through lane maintenance, understanding surfaces, keeping up with the bowling balls, and, just trying to understand, what you need to do within the framework of your own game to, to try to keep up with, some of the best in the world. These guys I bowl against, these are the legends of the game. They've been doing this their whole life, and it's been a wonderful opportunity to be able to just, learn from them, watch, observe, and, be able to understand, what makes guys great.
Your first appearance on TV here on the big stage, and you made it look pretty easy. Damn near rolling 279 in the title match. Nothing seemed to phase you out here today. How were you able to be so composed under the bright lights?
I think like anything. When you really just break it down, it's kind of strange to say, but it's just another game. The lights are brighter. Yeah, there's people in the crowd, but when you just really compartmentalize it all, literally you're just bowling another game, and it's another puzzle in front of you, and you have to figure out what you need to do to solve it. And I just try to keep that simple, and just try to stay focused on making those, just making quality shots. And just analyzing what you need to do to try to put yourself in the best position, whether it be having the right ball, the right speed, the right angle to the front, just to give yourself the best opportunity to hit the pocket. And then from there, you just you got to hope you made the right decision. Pins never lie; they always tell you.
If there were people in the audience that were like me, they were probably staring at your hands. Tell us about what you did to your finger and what it was like to get yourself up and ready for a televised final after withdrawing from the World Series.
Yeah, it was a very strange deal where, like I said, I just literally threw a shot when I was at home getting ready for tour, and I just felt this little bit of a crack, and then the next thing you know, the next morning, I got, in between the joints is turning purple, and I'm like, well, I got to seek medical attention here. So I saw a sports medicine doctor, and she told me it was an A4 pulley injury. You just need time. It should probably just take a couple weeks. So I was like, well, at that stage, that was April 20th, and practice was going to start May 1st, for the World Series. So I was like, well, we just need to. We're going to just rest it and see what happens. And I was fine practice day, and the 4th game of qualifying, I tweaked it again, and then I could barely get my finger halfway in the ball, so I kind of limped through it, and then I was okay. Did some took some lidocaine and some naproxen and whatnot. And ice just to try to reduce the swelling, and then it flared up, and it was okay until the practice session for match play, and then it flared up again. So now I'm bowling Mika, and I'm just trying to limp through this here, and just somehow I managed to Houdini my way past him somehow, I just absolutely slopped to the top, but he bowled a much better game than I did, but, that's just kind of how bowling goes sometimes, and, same thing. So I, after hurting it, I didn't throw a ball until literally today, and probably in the 5th shot in practice, I felt it, and it's already turning purple on the sides already again, so, I just have to, after seeing the orthopedic, I went, saw an orthopedic in between, the Ballard, and when we had to bowl today, I flew back home, and he said, you probably, at least the good thing, there was no damage. X-ray showed nothing, MRI showed nothing, just he said I probably popped a blood vessel is probably the reason why it's all the swelling, and he just got to take about probably a month off at least and go from there. So like I said, I've already shut it down and after this, and I'm trying to target maybe hopefully coming back for Akron, but I just obviously got to relook at my pitches, relook at the span, and just give it time to heal, and hopefully we'll be good from there.
Yeah. You've told me before that you are not sponsored by a bowling ball company. No. There's no logo on the front of your shirt. But Schlem was there. Mm-hmm. You were talking with him. He was wheeling out your bowling bags. Yeah. Was he your ball rep today? And what did he provide to your effort?
I mean, he's always great when it comes to providing, input, because I mean, obviously, he's got so much exposure with the PBA Tour, so many shows, and helping Pete Weber and so many of the staff members for so many years. I mean, he's a great source of knowledge, and we've known each other and been friends for so many years too. So I mean, he was just a great friend and whatnot, and he just probably told me to stick with that ball, and even though it wasn't his company's ball, but I mean, that's just also shows the character of Schlem, and it was one of those things where I mean, I'd throw both the Brunswick and Storm balls all week, and kind of went back and forth. And like I said, I just kind of made a decision that I felt like, especially with that spy, that since I didn't feel like I could throw it as hard as I wanted to, I needed to be slower, and that ball just gave me the best opportunity to keep it on line. And fortunately, it actually looked pretty good. So I mean, I just stuck with it and just manipulated it, because I tried throwing that concept on the fill, and I didn't throw it very good, but I didn't think we had enough lineage yet to get to that stage. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to manipulate this, and that's why I told Schlem too. I'm just going to manipulate this, and if it looks like I got to get in trouble and Couch is striking a lot, well then okay, now I got to bail out and do that. But otherwise, yeah, we're just going to manipulate it, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah. You also had a notepad with you. Mm-hmm. What were you writing in the notepad, and what did it do as a tool for you to come out victorious here?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've always been carrying, and actually it actually started in the team trials days where USBC had banned using your phone. So I just keep track of where I'm standing, what I'm looking at, how speed wise, how much how fast I'm throwing it, and then are the two lanes different? When I'm crossing the center, how is the going from the high end to the low end? Is there any differences or whatnot? Because that way, when I go around the second time, or when you come back to the same center multiple years, like we do on PBA50 Tour, at least I'll have a little bit better idea of what I need to do, and at least be maybe a little bit ahead of the game. And it's not always right, but for the most part, I mean, I'd say it's been more right than wrong. So.
You went another route in your career, going through to work for Kegel instead of bowling on the tours. Mm-hmm. I believe that decision came around coincidentally, right as Jason Couch is winning 3 TOCs in a row. So kind of a full circle moment here. I'm sure as a kid bowling, you had dreams of competing on the tour and winning titles on TV. How special is it to come around and to do so here at age 54 and get it done?
Oh, I mean, it's awesome. The funny part, too, is I actually was oiling lanes for 2 of his TFCs, too. So, I mean, I got to witness those firsthand. So, that was really kind of extra special, too. And, I mean, just been a great player. I mean, obviously, PBA Hall of Fame. I mean, the things that he's done in bowling is phenomenal. And, fortunately, I was able to get by him today, and that's just, sometimes how the one-game matches work sometimes. I mean, I just dealt with that at the Villages. You bowl pretty well all week, and then, Danny Wiseman goes spare, he bagger at you. I mean, it's just kind of the nature of the beast. But, I mean, the goal is just keep getting there. Keep getting there, and, like I tell people, if you bowl for the title 100 times, you're not going to go 0 for 100, and you're not going to go 100-0. But the goal is just keep getting there, and eventually, it'll even out. And that's, fortunately for me, it's been pretty good for the most part.
All right, John Janawicz, 10-time PBA50 Tour champion. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you. So, by the way, I forgot to mention sponsors. So
go for it.
Okay, yeah, but there's a few people I want to thank. First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Most importantly, like I said, without him, I'm not sure where I'd be, but I definitely wouldn't be here. I do want to thank Kegel, Chris Chartrand, Don Agent, so many guys that are great and hold down the fort. And, Kegel always give me that opportunity to just be able to, be out here and live this dream is phenomenal. And, I do have a few sponsors, CPS Investment Advisors. I want to thank them, Tony Correo, for, continuing to sponsor me. He's trying to help me retire before I hear my own eulogy. So I'm pretty excited about that. Jeannie Franklin with Chameleon Sportswear. done a pretty good job of making me look good, which takes a lot of work. So she does fantastic work. I do want to also thank, like I said, Mike Wolf and Dino Castillo in Brunswick, because they did a nice gesture for me, helping me out get ready for the tour, as well as Storm Products. Steve Klumpkin did a lot of help for me, getting me ready for tour as well. So I have to equally thank both of them, because they were both instrumental, and I threw both of the brands this week. Probably about 50-50. But like I said, trying to think who else I'm forgetting here. Oh yeah, BVL. Yeah, I Bowlers to Veterans Link. Fantastic charity. They do so much, not just for bowling, but for so many ways to be able to support our veterans, and very, very thankful for their support. And like I said, can't remember if I'm forgetting anybody else here. I need to probably look at the back of my jersey here a little bit, but I think I've gotten most everybody. But and also especially to thank Bolero Lucky Strike Lakeville, and AMF Southtown, and Lucky Strike Corporation for backing us up for this Senior World Series. And like I said, we appreciate their support of the PBA50 Tour, and like I said, thanks so much for all that.
All right, John Janawicz, congratulations.
Yep, thank you.